Hey everyone, welcome to Steven Universe, the show where we talk about the universe of Steven Universe. I'm your host, Victor Frost. First things first, the news. Last week's episode, Hit the Diamond, featured some very obvious romance and flirting between Ruby and Sapphire. Now, if you had to guess which country took issue with and censored those moments, you might come back with one of the usual suspects. Spain, Italy, France, the Philippines, anywhere in the Middle East. You would probably not, however, had guessed Sweden. Yeah, Sweden, one of the few countries known for being incredibly progressive. According to the local and English-language Swedish news site, someone in the land of IKEA and tasty meatballs working for Cartoon Network's local division thought it would be a good idea to edit out Ruby and Sapphire's affections by way of the translated voiceovers, removing as much of the romance as they could. Swedish fans of the show, most of whom speak English I assume, and doubtless watched the American version as well, were, shall we say, less than pleased, and rather swiftly created an online petition on Skrivunder.com, a Swedish petition site. Having already acquired 1,300 signatures, the petition basically tells Cartoon Network to cut it out with the funny business. Turner Broadcasting, for their part, denied that the editing was censorship of same-sex relationships, and instead said that localized shows are edited for any number of reasons, including content rating systems, which are used, among other things, to help parents determine if a show is appropriate for children. What does this analyst think? I think this is a case of Turner's left hand not knowing what its right hand is doing. Get your house in order, guys. Ironically enough, though, the news outlet I first heard of this from was RT, or Russia Today. If you didn't know, RT is a Russian state-sponsored media outlet and has a notable record for adhering to state propaganda and supporting the narrative purported by Moscow. The irony of this comes from the fact that Russia is very much not a friendly place for the LGBT community. And while the Kremlin has stated to the contrary, the reality on the ground very clearly says otherwise. But for now, we'll leave it at that. We're supposed to be talking about a fun kids show, so political affairs are a bit outside this show's purview. That's it for the news. Let's see what you folks are up to. It's time for a review. I don't know what this is. Neither does the creator. But I can tell you this. This is art. And you need to experience it. 5 Stevens. Not joking, not even a little bit. Link in the doobly-doo. That's it. That's all I'm going to tell you. Now it's time for us to look at the latest episode and see what we learned. If you haven't yet seen the episode, Steven Floats, now's your chance to pause this video, watch that one, then come back. Don't worry, we'll wait. This is your spoiler alert. New episode, new lore. Let's see what we learned. Oh my god, Chewie, we're home. Back in Steven's room, back on the beach, back in Beach City. You guys realize the last time we saw Beach City was 13 episodes ago? That was back in October. Saying that out loud really highlights how slowly new episodes come out. Anyways, this episode brings with it yet another new power for Steven. One that we've actually seen Rose use. In episode 48, Story for Steven, Rose floats gently down when meeting Greg for the first time. Now, Garnet describes this power as being able to control one's own rate of descent, but it also seemed to affect how high Steven could jump. Now, I'm not a physicist, but that makes it seem more like this power changes the degree by which Steven is affected by gravity, which is not unheard of in the Steven universe. Back in episode 76, It Could Have Been Great, the gems go to the moon. Once there, the crystal gems and Peridot all walk around the moon as if it had the same gravity as Earth. And Peridot explains that the bodies of gems automatically adjust to their environment. Presumably this is done to make it so that gems, as a spacefaring race, don't need to relearn how to move when going from one environment to another. Amethyst, having lived on Earth her entire life, didn't know about this. But her body adjusted anyways.
All right, Moon Boy.
Our understanding of gem biology, if they even have a biology, is limited to say the least. But from this, it would seem to be as if this adjustment is the gem equivalent of an autonomic function. Things like heart rate, sweating, digestion, and needing to pee would be examples of autonomic functions in humans. Now, I can't say why Steven didn't automatically adjust to the moon's gravity. Maybe it has to do with him being human. Maybe he was just super jazzed about being on the moon. I know I would be. In either case, if Steven's newest power is related to that innate ability in gems, then it seems to be that he has the equivalent of being able to control your own heart rate. But why all the new powers all of a sudden? I mean, these last handful of episodes have been kind of chock full of them. Wait a minute. Steven just turned 13, right? Puberty? Apart from the introduction of yet another power, there wasn't too much to learn. It seems that the accident we learned about way back when in episode 21, Joking Victim, ended up becoming a workplace safety lawsuit. Now that that was thrown out, they're back to making donuts in-house. However happy Steven will be to try that first donut of the day, Kofi is going to be just as unhappy when he finds that his car has been broken into and that his cell phone is gone. Meanwhile, that captain and cabin crew of that Dewar Airlines flight didn't seem to be too concerned about boys in the sky. Does this happen often? The universe of Steven Universe is a very strange place indeed. And that's what we learned on this episode of Steven Universe. Before we go though, my friend Richard made a really awesome short recently. Hey Richard, you want to come on here and tell the fine folks at home a little bit about your video and the stuff you do?
Of course. Hey everyone, my name is Richard, and yeah, I'm a filmmaker out here in LA. So I just came out with this great short film that's a mashup between Mirror's Edge, Assassin's Creed, and The Prince of Persia. So we got the three greatest parkour characters out there right now, just in this super awesome. We got some great action, we got some great parkour scenes, first person camera. You have to check it out. Just go to youtube.com and look up the channel Frisky Biscuit.
Frisky Biscuit.
Yeah. We got some other great videos on there as well, so please check them out.
Yeah, Richard has been a friend of mine since I basically started college, and he know however much you think I know about film and stuff, this dude can run circles around me. Come on.
Okay.
Anyways, as for me, well, you guys already know who I am and what I do, but just for the sake of clarity, I'm Victor Frost, and I'll see you next time on Steven Universe.
Bye.
We exit this way.